Hey, it's another KATcast. Kevin Hilly along with Aaron Hart and Jordan J. Glad this guy's back, by the way.
Oh my! I was sick and it was bad.
You don't even. We'll save that for another KATcast. Okay.
Stomach bugs.
So today we're talking about road trip horror stories. We've all taken our trips. Things went wrong, sometimes worse than others. Mm-hmm. But so this is an opportunity for us to kind of fill you in on some of the. Now we can laugh about it, humorous things that went on. But at the time, it wasn't so much fun.
Yeah. Okay, so heading down to New Orleans at one point, went with my brother and his wife, and we were heading down for my cousin's wedding. I have family down there in New Orleans. So we're driving, decided to stop and spend the night in Memphis because we were, we'd all just left as soon as we got off work, didn't want to drive overnight, thought, all right, we're just, Memphis. So my brother had taken care of picking this hotel. He made reservations and we just, then paid him for the room. So as we're getting there, as we pull in, the husband goes, wow, this place is nice. A lot of neon everywhere and everything. Then we go to check in. And there was a guy, as my brother and I were checking in, that came and said, hey, did you see that blonde woman that went up to my room? And this woman's like, no, I'm sorry. He's like, she stole my wallet. Yeah, it turns out he had a lady of the evening visit him, and she robbed him. And I looked at my brother and I go, great place you picked. Yeah. Great place you picked.
Hey, it's got a lot of character.
Mm-hmm, yeah. When we got to our room, we could see where the door at one time had been kicked in.
I wonder if by law enforcement.
There was all kinds of mold in the bathroom, especially in the shower. I mean, it was the kind of place I was like this, sitting on the edge of the bed, one eye open all night long.
This isn't a horror story, but I literally got to sit in Mike Tyson's limo in Memphis one time when we were in Memphis.
Nice.
Well, I didn't have that kind of experience.
Yeah.
He was there for some odd reason.
Did Mike have any of the ladies there?
No.
Okay,
he let us get into the limo. We got to sit in it. This limo driver was really nice, too. I remember that as a kid. That was an awesome experience. But yeah,
did he have a tiger with him?
No, it was not like The Hangover. There was no...
Cool.
There was no
Tyson's probably like, all these things that people say about me, it's not true. I mean, people think this stuff about me, but I'm just a normal guy, It's like...
I'll tell you a horror story I had, man. So we were going, a whole family, it was a whole entire family trip. 30 plus of us were going to Myrtle Beach. So we were going to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wow, did the trip the trip there was fine. The trip back is when we started having problems. So at the time, my uncle had like a van. It fit like a lot of people in there. Well, it started having a little bit of problems when we got there, but everything was still fine. And then on the way back, the van broke down. So then we went from having multiple vehicles to like one or two.
And how many people?
And again, like 30 people.
Oh, my gosh.
And so let me tell you, we were all piled into like one or two vehicles. People were sitting on each other's laps. It was miserable.
At least you
was
didn't have pets with you.
But multiple hours sitting on people's laps. I mean, you were basically taking turns like, your butt's starting to hurt my lap. But I mean, it was a miserable time.
Your bony butt.
Yeah.
Right.
We were all like in the van. It was hilarious. It was the van that had remember the DVD? Like the
it flips down.
So it was like the entertainment for all the kids. We're in there, and all of a sudden the engine just in smoke, and my dad, he's sitting there, he's like, we gotta get the kids out of here. And in the process of my dad like getting everyone out of the van, we pulled off on like the side, so there's like a overpass. My dad tumbles down the overpass, like luckily it's grass, but he just, as he's like throwing the kids out, he's like, he falls down. He's like goes tumbling down. Miserable. That same trip too, by the way, my cousin, this is like, she was chasing me around with this like shock pin, and we were like staying in a condo, and I ended up like busting into the wrong people's rooms. Because I was trying to like escape my cousin as she's like tormenting me, and we would keep the condo door, like the little doorstop. We keep, because we were constantly going in and out.
Because hotel doors, if you close them,
they lock up in condos, right? Yeah, so we kept the little thing, so it would no longer. we didn't have to keep opening it with the key.
Right.
So I burst in, and these couples having like a candlelit wine dinner, And so
apparently their door was the same way,
their
right?
door
It
was
just
that way
kind of
too.
pried open.
Turns out I was a floor below.
Oh, and those people are still in therapy, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just me busting in, and they probably thought they were getting robbed. I'm like, sorry, wrong room.
Hilly and I were recently doing an event, speaking of hotel rooms, and we had met some coworkers for a drink after this event at the hotel bar. Afterwards, Hilly had left before I did. As I was going back to my room, I glanced up and I was like, oh, the 500 block of rooms. Okay, this is where I need to be. Walk up the 3 steps, go down one side, hit a dead end, and it doesn't hit my room at all. And I'm like, okay, I went the wrong way.
It's a hotel
Silly
that's
me.
very hard to navigate.
Yeah. Turn around, go back, and oh, hi, I run into another dead end.
It's like a mouse trap.
Am I taking crazy pills? What's going on? So
There's cheese waiting for you at your destination.
So I get the hotel room key, and I reconfirm my room number, and I'm like, it's a 500 number. So then for whatever reason, I'm like, I'm just going to go up a floor. No, I had to go up 2 floors to get to my other.
It's the weirdest.
It is. It's very
It's the
convoluted.
weirdest layout because you could be like, say, in the 300 block, but some of the 300s are here, and then some of the 300s are here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're in the 500. Some of the 500s are here. Some of the 500s are way over here. You know what I mean? It's like, who thought of this?
It's like a secret passage to get to you're like, oh, actually, behind this bookcase. You're like, what?
I was this close to calling Hilly and his wife and being like, come find me because I'm lost.
I'll send you a pin,
Something, yeah.
When we first came to Missouri, my wife and kids and all, we were all in New Jersey. And when I got the job in Missouri, we're driving out. We love flying now. That's the only way. I will not do this anymore. My bladder and everything else just can't handle a 17-hour drive anymore. And we used to do it almost straight through, which is kind of amazing. But we were moving to Missouri from New Jersey, and we had a red car. And I'm trying to remember what it was. It was a big 8-cylinder, but I can picture it, but I don't know what make and model it was. But anyway, it was maroon, actually. It was a maroon car. Okay. We had the kids with us. They were 6, 8, and 10 years old. There we are driving. The youngest is sitting there with Pretty Fishy, her goldfish. Then we have Nicole has the cat. And then there's John, who is now 10. He was 10 years old at that point. He's sitting there. And we have Toby on the floor, our dog. So we had a dog, a cat, and a fish, and 3 kids driving across the country. And it was, you can imagine on the way, there were all kinds of issues and everything like that. Although I will tell you, when we passed the arch, that was magical. Like we couldn't stop because we were on the highway. We're like, oh my God, look, the arch, wake up, the arch, like that. But
it's an awesome piece of architecture.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
But when the kids got to school and their first day of school in Missouri, and we got there like in August. Okay, so they were starting school shortly after that. They asked the kids, hey, draw a picture of what you did this summer. And they all drew a picture of the red car with us traveling on the highway. That is still burned into their memories, It was unreal, man. It was just unreal.
I was just thinking, too, on that Myrtle Beach trip, we also scarred my other cousin who has a fear of birds now for the rest of her life. So my grandpa, he had a bag of Doritos, and he looked like Odin. He looked like the All-Father himself. Like instead of crows, it was like just all these seagulls were just like flying around him. He was feeding them chips.
Seagulls are don't do that. That's the worst.
I know. He had Doritos. He would be holding up Doritos, and they'd come by and swoop them out of his hand.
Yeah.
Well, my little cousin was like, this is awesome. Yeah. And she wanted to do it, so he held her up. We got an awesome picture, but it nipped her finger, and ever since then, she's had a fear of birds. She'll see a flock of birds, and she loses it.
She's now traumatized.
It's the most irrational fear, It's like,
no, seagulls are incredibly aggressive.
They can be.
A son-in-law who at one time, it was actually my niece's husband, whatever, They're walking along the boardwalk in the Jersey Shore, and he's holding a slice of pizza. A seagull swooped down, grabbed the pizza out of his hand, and kept going. He's like, hey! They will do that, man. If they see an opportunity, they will do that.
I did that in Ireland where I had like bread or something. Like, oh no, it's French fries. I had fish and chips. And so I was like just throwing some French fries. I know I made some local mad because I threw it at like literally 50 or 60 birds on the road as this guy's sitting there minding his own business. And he's probably like, tourist!
That's the bat signal for seagulls right there. It really is, you know.
So, go for it, Ann.
I was going to say, we were driving to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and we had rented this cabin, up in the mountains, and we were driving there. Okay, once we got to Tennessee, y'all are nuts on the highway because we're driving along, and at one point, the husband, he's sitting in the seat behind me, and he glances up. He's like, oh, babe, you're going like 92. And I go, if I go any slower, somebody's going to go up our tailpipe.
Right.
I mean, like, they were going so freakishly fast.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, when we got there, I'm like this. I'm just all tensed up. My shoulders are up by my ears. It was awful.
That's what we just recently, we went to stay in a cabin up in Tennessee, and going up one of the Smoky Mountains, like you'd think that they'd have guardrails. Nah.
Nope.
Nah. And when we got
life
there,
is in your hands, man.
More room for two vehicles to pass.
Oh,
yeah.
You're playing chicken.
Yeah.
You know?
We get there, we were arriving at like 3 a.m. And there's like, not only are you driving with no guardrails, there's also a blanket of fog. We can't see.
You're going to die, man.
So my wife the entire time, she's like, you're gonna kill us. Yeah, I'm like, we're fine. I was like, stop it, because now you're making me nervous.
Your wife turns to you and says, being married to you has been the honor of my life.
Well, speaking of fog, saw George Strait in Kansas City at the Sprint Center, and this has been years and years ago. And it was in January, so it was really weird that when we left and we're driving back on 70, it was heavy fog. So something that should have taken us like 2.5 hours to get back to town took us like, I think almost 6, something crazy like that. And me and my sister-in-law and my former co-host and his buddy, we all went together. And it was so late that he and I were like, all right, I guess we might as well just stay here because we got to be here in like an hour and a half anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So, he took one couch in the lobby. I took another one, and we attempted to sleep. And that was like the worst 90 minutes of my life. After like 45, I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. I'm just going to get up.
Yeah.
Work.
You know how when you're on the road and you just got to go.
Oh, yes.
And there is no, it's funny. We used to say before and again, with our kids, I can't tell you how many trips. When we came to Missouri, we bought a Kia van, okay, a white van. And my wife used to drive the neighborhood kids around in it and everything. But that was what we also used to drive back and forth to New Jersey whenever we'd go visit family and everything. So I can tell you how familiar I am with I-70, man. I mean, every stop along the way. So we used to drive up, drive back, drive up, drive back. This is before we were flying. Okay. One of the trips back from Jersey, there's my son, my daughter, and my other daughter. They're sitting in the car. John, my son, he's got to go number 2. Dad, I got to go. There's nowhere here to go.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going like past Indianapolis on 70. He goes, I got to go. I go, fine. I just take the first exit that I could see. Well, we're into a fairly rough area of Indianapolis. And it's sort of like a industrial section. There's no businesses or anything to speak of where you can use the bathroom. But we finally see some hole in the wall, like barbecue place or something. I pull up, I go, here you go, John, this is your best bet, man. Go in there, do your stuff. He's in there maybe 5 minutes.
Came out with a rack of ribs and some pulled pork sandwiches.
He comes running back into the van. He goes, drive! Apparently the guy, as he was leaving, the guy who runs the place looked at me and says, boy, did you mess up my bathroom? And John runs out and he gets in the van and goes, drive! And I was surprised the guy didn't come after us with knives or something, So I don't know how bad it must have been, but the fact that he had to ask must have been pretty bad.
We've had that situation too. At one time, it was like we were like in the middle of nowhere. There was like nothing, So we were just like, so we just pull off to the side. Luckily, we normally, because we have tiny kids, we had like a little like potty, and so that's come in handy a lot. But so otherwise, it's just like just lean out a little bit.
That's
You
right.
know, we got like baby wipes and stuff, you know. It's
And you gotta. Did you ever? Okay. Again, here's the other thing. I used to always give the order before we left anywhere on a long trip. Hey guys,
You better go.
Everybody go. Do a preventative. We call it preventative. Do a preventative pee. Nicole, our middle one, we love her dearly. I love you, sweetheart. She was always going, I don't have to go. Go now. Just try to go. I don't have to go. Okay, I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
We're going to go. Sure enough, 20 minutes away, half hour into the trip, I have to go to the bathroom. I go, here's a cup. I handed him back. She goes, I can't pee in a cup. It's the only option. Sorry, you know. And then if you did use the cup, you got to pour it out.
Yeah.
You do it when you're going slow enough, because I'm telling you, we've had more than once pee kind of splashed back in.
Have I told you this story of like when I was like, I've done this too. Mind you, do not do this while you're still driving. That was my mistake. My mistake was I'm trying to drive and fill up a cup, and then you hit a bump and you're in a bad.
Wait, are you the one peeing while you're driving?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've done
man.
this. I've
Talk
done
about
this before.
multitasking.
I've done this before,
Yes.
and then I hit a bump.
Boom.
And and then you spill it on yourself, and then
I
you
ain't
feel
road tripping
terrible.
with either of y'all. Forget this.
She's like, now that I know, thank you for the warning.
No way.
You know?
Well, we have the luxury we can kind of get out of the car if we need to pee, and just kind of open the door or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're talking about road trip horror stories. You got another one, Aaron? I didn't want to jump ahead if you have one.
I mean, go right ahead.
All right, so my wife and I, we stayed at a place at the shore in Jersey. I think it might have been Atlantic City. It might have been Ocean City. I'm not sure. But anyway, we stayed in an Airbnb. And it was like it wasn't like a single house. It was like a series of sort of apartment places.
Okay.
With like 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top, that type of thing. So we go into the one, and we had spoken to the owner of it, and we had never done an Airbnb before that.
Yeah,
okay. Hey, here we go. We walk in.
Meanwhile, I told him how easy an experience it is and how much fun.
For the most part.
Yeah, never had an issue.
We walk in, and the place. And okay, let me also back up and say I can handle a decent amount of filth. I really can. My wife, very picky. Any kind of dirt, she doesn't want anything to do with it. We walk in. It ain't the greatest looking place. It's old. Okay, whatever. We go over to the lamp. There's a lamp, like a floor lamp sitting there. And it's coated with hair and dust. It's like a layer, the point where you can like peel it off with your hand like that. She goes, nope, we're not staying. And we put a request in for a refund, which we got. And then we ended up staying that night at like a Comfort Inn or something like that.
I thought you were going to say you ended up staying there anyway. I was like, I don't remember that.
And that was like this time we all went to Florida. My dad, he was in charge of picking the place, and so he was like, "Well, this it looks nice," and he talked it up. It
You
was
never
gonna be
let
this
us,
awesome.
ladies. You never let us pick the place. Okay, that's
he
all I'm
talked
saying.
it all up. It was going to be this awesome place. You know, the night before we had stayed at this there was nowhere to stay at but this like smoker's room. They only had one room left. It was a smoker's room. We tried. We went in there for like 30 minutes, and then we just went and slept in the car.
Yeah, because if you're not a smoker, it can be overwhelming.
Oh,
yeah.
no. Because it lingers on everything.
So this hotel we finally get to, when we get to Florida, I can't remember the name of it. We all make fun of it, but we called it Park Carnici. We couldn't pronounce the name of it, so we called it Park Carnici. Okay. We get there. We go into the bathroom. The bathroom, it's like spider infested. There's also mold on the wall. Oh. And then it was raining like crazy that day. Where we were on the ground level, the entire like patio was flooded. It had soaked into the room. The carpet was wet and soggy.
The worst.
And this water, it just was like flooding in. And so my mom, she goes, "I can't do this."
No,
she goes, "This is the last time I
Nor
let you
should you, Jordan's mom. Come on.
So we had to like come up with, we're like, we had a family emergency. Like my dad was pulling out all the tricks. We ended up getting a refund, funny enough.
Sure. Well, and as far as the bathroom goes, this is where ladies learn to hover, isn't it, Aaron?
Absolutely.
They teach them from a young age, hover.
That's where, when you do your squats at the gym, it really pays off.
Strengthen those thighs.
Right.
Oh, my
But I'll just never forget that. My dad talks it up. It's supposed to be this awesome place, and we get there, we're like, this is not good. It's not good.
It's funny, as you get older, and especially if okay, well, I'm just speaking for myself. If you have kids, I think you're sometimes kind of willing to put up with a little more.
Yeah.
Just because you're just glad to have a place, you know?
Sure.
But as you get older, you kind of get a little pickier. Like my wife and I, and again, it's mostly her, but if she sees something, like we'll go into a hotel, she will immediately do the bed bug check.
I do that too. Yeah.
And she'll say to me, "Hey, did you do the bed bug check?" I go, yeah. It's
You
good."
didn't.
Maybe. I did, of course.
I do just because my
if you're watching this on,
arachnophobia.
yes, I did. Okay.
I'm like, I don't need no spiders in here. I always peek for that. Just I'm like, any spiders in there?
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, I was going to say the last time there was a sliding glass door in my room that was just not locked.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't get it to lock. And so I text Tilly. I'm like, hey, you guys got a sliding glass door? Like, does it lock? And so he messages me back. He's like, yeah, mine's locked. Well, I got to looking at mine, and the little metal piece there, somebody had been, you could tell, had been too rough with it. So I took my fingernail, and I was like, got the screws back in. Got it to lock. So I'm proud of myself.
Somebody was either a little too rough or there was a felony that had gone on there. I don't know.
Either way, I got it fixed. Thank you, fingernail.
We're talking about road trip horror stories. And, hey, we'd love to hear yours because everybody has something.
Oh, yeah.
On some trip, something has gone wrong. And fortunately, for the most part, you can laugh about it afterwards, you know.
Absolutely.
I feel like mine too, and this happened a lot too often. It's like every time we get a room at a hotel, like something was wrong with our reservation. Like it was always like we'd get there and it's something happened. There was a mix up, or sorry, your room's not ready. I remember one time we went to Mexico, like actual Mexico, and. Yeah, it was like a long trip to get there. And so we're sitting there. This room was supposed to be ready. Wasn't ready. We had already waited like another 3 hours. It still wasn't ready. I just remember my dad being like, he got like to the point he was done. He smacked the counter like that kind of done.
Yeah.
Where he goes, this is ridiculous. You know, we were at that point. But that like the thing is, and we always we have like the Griswold luck. And so, like, this happened all the time. This happens
Grandma
still.
on the roof?
No.
Okay,
but this happens all the time. So it was like, it's so consistent that it's just ridiculous. And so that's just to be expected. Any trip we take, I'm like, something's going to happen that we don't expect.
To go wrong.
The good news, though, is if they don't have your room ready, 9 times out of 10, they are cool with you leaving your bags there at least.
For the most part.
That way, you don't have to worry about trying to lug them around. You can still maybe go and explore the city or something while they're getting your room ready.
Yeah, because you're right. They normally have like a place or a room where they can lock your bags in and stuff like that. So you're not, got tons of luggage,
that
clearly
helps.
looking like a tourist.
Well, I think it was, Nate Bargatze, the comedian.
Yeah.
He was taught. He did a great bit about staying in a hotel with a friend of his, and he had to explain a younger friend who didn't understand how give me a wake up call in the morning works. Like he actually wanted the person to call him, wanted the front desk to call him. He says, you don't have to do that now. You can just no. I want him to call me. So he says, sure enough, phone rings. He doesn't answer it. The person at the front desk then comes up to the door and starts knocking on the door. He still doesn't answer it.
Oh, man.
The guy has to open the door and come in and sees his friend sound asleep. And then he has to go up to him and go, hey, buddy. Like, how awkward is that, man? Like, that's his wake-up call.
It's like, can't you just set an alarm?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So it's a great story. If you find Nate Bargatze, you'll see it's hilarious. It really is. But love to hear your stories, your road trip horror stories. You can always shoot us an email, catcountry@mailzimmer.com. And we'd also love for you to subscribe, because we have this on video here, obviously.
Yeah.
If you're watching on video, or we have audio as well. Maybe you're just listening to this and you can't see our beautiful faces. But either way,
You're not missing out.
Audio, video, we try to appeal to all.
That's right.
we do it all. But however you're watching or listening, please give us a subscribe. We'd sure appreciate that. And we thank you for joining us for this edition of the KATcast.